How was that? Good. Breaking your new way to do it. You know. All right. So today I have Jonah Hurd with me. Jonah and I go way back since junior high, seventh grade. I was actually thinking about the way we met the other day. I don't know if you remember this. Do you?
I don't know if I want to hear this story, but if you want to share it, we can go that route.
So the way Jonah was in the seventh grade, it was literally the first day of school. At lunchtime, playing football outside, and an eighth grader decided to start a fight with me. And the first person who jumped in to have my back was Jonah Hurd.
Oh my gosh, I'm so relieved
Yes.
to hear that.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to go a different direction than I was about to say.
Ended up in the principal's office on the first day.
Yeah, I guess I do recall that. Yeah, well, I'm glad.
So we've been in trouble our whole lives together.
This is true.
But thank you for taking the time to be with us here today.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit, for people who don't know you, a little bit about your background. And I guess I skipped something. What's eating? What's your ice cream?
I have some mango ice cream here. It's absolutely delicious. And thank you for turning on to this amazing ice cream shop.
Very cool. So I interrupted, but tell us about your background, your past, and what you're doing now at Borderplex Solutions.
Okay. So we graduated from high school in 2005 from Eastwood, and I did go through. I did about half a year to a year of college at UTEP, and immediately realized I was not ready for it. So I had to evaluate my life situation, and I decided to enlist. I initially had walked to a Marine recruiter's office, and the door was locked, thankfully. No offense to any Marines. But next door was be all you can be. So I went in and I asked about what it would take to become a Ranger. And they said, hey, we never put anybody on a Ranger contract, but hey, if you want to try it out, let's see if you make the cut. And fast forward, let's see, that was probably November. By January 1st, I was shipping out to basic training. And by August, I had finished basic training. I had finished airborne school, and I was on my way to the Ranger Indoctrination Program. Completed that, and I was assigned to the 2nd Ranger Battalion, Fort Lewis, Washington. I did 12 years there, private and platoon sergeant, and then I left for a little bit, and I went to be a TAC instructor at the United States Military Academy at West Point. I was there for about 2.5 years, where I had a chance to make my own platoon leaders, which was an absolute highlight of my military career. And then after leaving West Point, I came down back to Fort Bliss, and instead of being an airborne guy that carried my ruck on my back, I was now on Bradley's. And that was an interesting change. I'm going to say that it was not my cup of tea. And I immediately went back to the 75th Ranger Regiment, where I served as a first sergeant at Alpha Company, 1st Ranger Battalion in Savannah, Georgia. After my time there, I decided it was time to separate from service and start pursuing other passions and goals of mine. So I opted to leave the military after 18 years. I did have to have a medical separation. I had shrapnel through my legs and some pretty serious traumatic brain injury that I worked through daily. And I think it was, I definitely know now was the right time to step away and start pursuing other endeavors.
Very cool.
Thank you. So that captures the military side of it. I'll pause there.
Yeah. No. So first of all, thank you for your service. It sounds like you had quite the torrid career in the service. We won't delve into specifics about any of that stuff. But what would you say before we jump into your current career at Workforce Solutions? What kind of leadership things did you take away from that military career that you feel like it transitioned or helped to translate into your civilian?
Well, I would say
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to scroll through things and I messed it up. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, Jonah. So, you said while you were at UTEP, you decided that you wanted to join the military. And it was obviously a very strong passion that drove you to go right away towards that. What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, it was actually, a very challenging time in my life. I was a teenage dad, and I had decisions to make. And my goal was to stay local and play football at UTEP. And I was not able to even step on the field. So that was a setback for me. I was so committed, pretty much had all my eggs in one basket, hoping that there would be a chance to walk on and maybe even pick up a scholarship so I could continue to play football, but also be around for my daughter. And when I realized that, hey, that was, kind of, sailing away from me, I decided, hey, I had to do something. I had to try to better myself some other way because football wasn't going to be the ticket anymore. And so I decided, hey, you know what? Maybe military service might be the place for me. And having had to make the decision a second time, I absolutely do it again, no doubt.
So, how did you find yourself getting into the world of workforce solutions? And tell us more about that and the mission, and, specifically what you do.
Okay. So, transition is definitely a challenge for anybody in any occupation. I'm grateful for the transition team that I worked with as I was leaving the military and the resources that were available. It's almost so many resources, you don't know which one to use. And as I transitioned down, I thought I had a good exit strategy. My first job, actually, leaving service was with Granger. And that was a little bit of a shock for me, entering the civilian workforce and having to start from the bottom again. I went from being a senior leader in a special operations unit to selling tools and supplies, and there was no extra grace for any of my service, and not a dig to anybody in that organization, just it was a change of pace, to say the least.
Yeah.
And so I just kept my network open, and I knew that I wasn't going to stay there for long, but I knew right away, hey, I'm going to have to transition. This isn't necessarily for me.
Yeah.
And I can't stress the network side enough, relying on the people around you, the people that you serve with, people that know your past and know your potential. And I just started to reach out, and some opportunities presented itself. And when I first heard about Workforce Solutions Borderplex, it's like, you know what? I don't know what exactly I've been getting into, but I know that they had stepped up and helped me out as I was transitioning out of Uni. And they actually funded a program that I went to, and it was Vets to PM, Vets to Project Management. And while I completed my project management training and certification, I realized, hey, I'm cut out for this. I've been a project manager my entire career. I just have to be able to, transfer that over to the civilian side. And when I applied for Workforce Solutions Borderplex, that's exactly what I transitioned to. I was actually hired to help with military programs at Fort Bliss. And I was able to help service members that were transitioning in their dependents, find out what they were going to do next. And it was nice for them to be able to talk to someone like me who had just went through the process. And I could assure them and give them tips that were going to make them successful. And from there, it just started to grow. The organization quickly realized the potential that I had. And I went from just a military programs manager to aerospace and defense contracting. And then that led into advanced manufacturing, and now artificial intelligence and IT work, So through the organization, our focus is to help those who are, unemployed, I would say underemployed, which means, hey, they have a high level of education, but not enough work experience to get them into the workforce. And I mean, Workforce Solutions Borderplex touches every demographic. We work justice reentry. We work with SNAP and TANF, child care services throughout the city of El Paso and our surrounding communities. As far out as Presidio. So we try to take care of everybody that we can. And I just have the added benefit of being able to take that to the transitioning service member and their dependents and help them find the employment certifications and credentialings that they need to be successful.
That is really cool, man. And I mean, it sounds like they have found that sweet spot there on the ability to, no pun intended, to really work with veterans then, so that they come at it from your level. It's funny, as I was preparing for this, I was talking with my wife, and it seems like, we often, it is a disservice to our veterans, the fact that you have all of this training and specialized skill sets, and you're good at what you do in the military, and then you get out into the civilian world, and after you've worked 18, 20 years of doing something, everybody else is like, well, you don't have any work experience. And so that, that's hanging people out to dry. So it sounds like it's a really good organization. I'm happy for you that you found something that's working out well. I am in the real estate industry, and so one question I would have for you in dealing with veterans: what kind of advice would you give them from your perspective as they're, maybe moving to El Paso, transitioning out of the military, and they want to settle down? What kind of things did you learn about that process from a personal standpoint?
Okay, so this is good, and I want to highlight. I just want to quickly go back and for us transitioning service members and veterans, I don't think we ever look at it as if we've ever been hung out to dry, but there just hasn't been the connection between what we did to what we'll do. Yeah. And I just want to highlight that because the community here is so respectful of veterans, and they're doing the best that they can to reach every single veteran wherever they're at in their path. And I get to be a large part of that. So I definitely want to just make sure we highlight that. As veterans, we're proud of our service, but a lot of us are proud to have an opportunity to give back again and continue to serve. And so that being said, the advice I would give to any transitioning service member and your family is, hey, rely on that network. Like I said before, transition out with confidence. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Wherever you go, no matter where you decide to settle, there are going to be challenges. You're going to meet some people that are very supportive. You're going to meet some people that aren't supportive at all, and some people that just don't know what you've been through or what you did with your military service. And equally that goes to those who work with veterans. You don't always know where they came from, and I'm not going to sit here and say that every veteran is going to be your best product. But I can tell you that the majority of service members that are transitioning out, they have a lot to bring to the table. The military spouse, hands down, a hero across the board. If you get an opportunity to hire a military spouse, you take it. Even if it's a chance that you may only have them for a year or two, it'll be the best year or two you've had with a civilian employee that's tied to military service. All that to say, when you transition out, hey, there's a lot of great incentives to stay here in the state of Texas as a veteran, especially when it comes down to, purchasing a home and setting down roots. Give it a chance. The city is growing at a phenomenal rate. There are amazing things happening, especially in aerospace and defense in our region. I sat at the space conference about 2 weeks ago, and it was just phenomenal to see. They consider El Paso the gateway to space. With all the organizations that are working to our west and to our east, it makes El Paso that center point. Yeah. And, it goes back in our lineage to be the passage here in El Paso, and now we're going to be the passageway to space, and that's just growing at a phenomenal rate. So I encourage anybody, if they're thinking about leaving the region, give it some deep thought, look around, talk to an expert in economics and what the development is here. Obviously, we'll share my information. So if you want more specifics, you guys can come out to someone like me or Sawyer and just get the information that you need and what's going to set you up for success. There's a strong network. Entrepreneurship is at another level, especially for transitioning service members and spouses. And we want to cultivate that here.
That's awesome, man. So to take it a little bit lighter also now, so tell me a little bit about your motivations when you're not working. So what's your Life.
So, man, when I'm not working, I think for any veteran, especially a high performing veteran, you don't ever stop. Sometimes you take assignments that people will say, hey, this is your chance to take a knee, but a good leader never takes a knee, in my opinion, and that could be a fault. But I would say this, when I do get some time to just relax, it's just the time I spend with my wife and my kids. I'm able to coach, 2 flag football teams now. I'm a part of every single event. And not only am I, providing, my leadership and the skills gained to my professional organization, I get to do the same thing for young boys and girls that are coming up, playing sports, being able to be a mentor and a positive one. We have a lot of people out here that, might be a little bit harder on some of our younger athletes. I don't believe in that. I believe in, hey, teaching them, hey, what it is to be a good teammate, because that's what saved me on every single mission I was overseas. The good teammates, that camaraderie, taking care of each other, and that goes a lot further than just being, a little bit more challenging for kids. We want them to be the best that we can, but that's what I do. In my time to relax, it's spent, making sure that I'm with my kids, with my family, making them a priority, and doing things with them that puts me out in the community so that other people can see, hey, this guy's a veteran. He's a disabled veteran, but he's getting after it still. He brings his kids to everything he can. They're a part of everything that he does. And I want everybody to know it. I don't let that stop me. I make sure that everyone knows that's my number one priority. And it has just carried me through, the seasons of life, and I'm very proud to say it.
Well, that's great, man. That answered my next question already for, your success story. Really happy for you. I've gotten the pleasure to know you for a long time in life, and you've seen me too. And we talked about this before the podcast started about seasons of life. And, absolutely, we all go through our ups and downs, and it's just been a pleasure to watch you, grow in your life and your career. So I'm very happy for you, man. Before we wrap it up today, you want to give everybody your contact information if they want to get a hold of you and have a.
Yes, absolutely. So my email is jonah.hurd@borderplexjobs.com. If you have any questions about the spelling, please let us know. It can be a little bit challenging for some folks, but please reach out, send out an email. We have multiple events. Today we just had our Red, White, and You event, which is a phenomenal turnout for our veterans and our local employers. But hey, if there's employment resources that you need anything, please, you don't have to be a veteran to reach out to me so I can get you connected with the right people. And Sawyer, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And like you said, hey, it's been great to grow up alongside you and see where we're at now, and we went from knocking heads on the football field to doing this stuff now in a great ice cream parlor, just trying to get back to our community. And I hope all of you can get on board with that and join us in those efforts.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Jonah. And again, if you guys have any suggestions for other guests that we can have on here, please let me know. Thank you to Gozos for allowing us to do this here again. Great shop. Definitely come check it out. They have another location that's actually opening up across from our alma mater at Eastwood High School over there. So 2 locations, one downtown and one on the east side. But thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.